Gentlemen, we back. NFL preseason kicks off tonight. NFL is finally back, man. After all these months off, it's been stressful. I'm a bigger NFL watcher. I enjoy NBA, boxing, UFC, but any sport that's at the top of the list will always be NFL for me. I just enjoy the um, the action, man. And anybody else that's an NFL fan knows exactly what I'm talking about. They know how this day feels. First day of preseason, man. Today is actually the Hall of Fame game. It will be the Los Angeles. Is it Los Angeles now? Chargers versus the Detroit Lions. Just a preseason game, man. But they got the bets on damn prize pick and all that stuff. So I put a bet in anyway. I don't care. I'm just thirsty to watch some football. So I'm gonna be checking that out tonight. But I wanted to get in here and make a quick video, just early predictions as far as what I'm expecting from this season. I just want to touch on a couple of teams. For one, I want to talk about the two teams that were in the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Then I want to speak on my team, what I'm expecting from my Tennessee Titans. And if y'all see above, I got the logo back there. Salute to my lady. She got that for me. I want to say like on Christmas or something. So salute to her. And then I want to talk about two sleeper teams that I got, one for the AFC and the NFC. So let's jump right into it, man. Like I said, we got the Chargers and the Lions. I'm not going to predict any preseason games or nothing like that. But this will be on Amazon Prime, I think CBS, and it might be ESPN tonight. I might be wrong on that, but I know it's going to be on one of those tonight. If you're looking forward to watching the game, they come on at like 7 or 8. But let's start with the Super Bowl winner, the defending champions, and the AFC champions, Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll start with the champs first. What I'm expecting from the Philadelphia Eagles this year, from last year, for anybody that knows me, I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, but I don't believe he's a top 10 quarterback. Just not based off of he played great in the Super Bowl. But if you look at the strength of the schedule for the Philadelphia Eagles last year, you will see that they had one of the easiest schedules for one. That's just for starters. But also, not only did Jalen Hurts have the number one running back on the team, a top five, may I say, wide receiver core, but also they had the number one defense for majority of the year. I want to say after like week 8, the Eagles defense was number one. Nobody wanted to play the Eagles. But when you go look at that schedule, anybody could bring up the schedule, you'll see that Jalen Hurts didn't perform too well. Like, yes, he's a runner. Philadelphia Eagle fans will say, I know a couple fans that just die hard biased as shit, but they would say that Jalen Hurts led this team. And it's false, because it's fabricated, because when you look at it, he had a lot of tush push. If you don't know what the tush push is, it's when they get to the 1 yard line and they just line up like a rugby team and dive forward and get a 1 yard touchdown. Cool, I understand that. But what the hell is a quarterback? A quarterback isn't just about being mobile. That's another part of the game that you unlock. But as far as a quarterback, can this person stand in the pocket and throw a legit pass? Can he throw a deep ball? Can he get it to the middle? Can he hit the slot players, get the short yard gains that's needed? And yes, I believe he can do all that, but like his deep ball ain't the greatest, so I'm not gonna ridicule him about that. But when you look at every aspect of the game as a quarterback, if you can name, to me, I can at least name 10 quarterbacks, and maybe he is close to top 10. But when people say like, "Oh, he's top 5" or he's right after Mahomes, it's just all right, y'all. Y'all just fanned out. I understand that your team just won a Super Bowl. It makes sense, but let's be logical here. Look at Jalen Hurts' numbers and compare them to the other quarterbacks that threw for 4,000 plus touchdown yards for the year, had 30, 40 touchdowns, low interception rate ratio and stuff like that. Not taking anything from him, but just based off last year, I believe that the Eagles won, not just because of Jalen Hurts. I think the bigger picture was that Saquon Barkley during their ran for 2,000 plus yards. If not, I'm pretty sure he did run for 2,000. But then they had the number one defense. If you got a defense that can shut down the offense and they can't put no points up, all you got to do is keep giving the ball to Saquon. And that's what they did for most of the part. They gave Saquon the ball so much that even when it got to the red zone, that's what they was using Jalen Hurts to get a couple yards to get the touchdown. So it was a great year for the Eagles. I'm not trying to take anything from them, but when people say that Jalen Hurts is a top 10 or a top 5 quarterback, I just don't see it yet. If he plays the way he did in the Super Bowl, yes, he will be a top 10 without a doubt. That's my opinion though. So as far as the team, I believe that they got the same exact team this year. So they're still going to be solid. They lost a couple of pieces, but I don't believe they lost any big piece that will make them take a step back. However, I this year they have a tougher schedule. I think they said it's sixth the sixth strongest schedule for the NFL teams this year. So with that being said, they're going to play a lot of more competition. Can Jalen Hurts play at a level that he played against Kansas City? If anybody knew football, you would see that Kansas City's defense was ass. They should have lost a lot of games last year. Somehow they made it to the Super Bowl. Not taking nothing away from them, but Eagles exposed that. Jalen was able to throw deep a couple times. Saquon was able to run through that defense. The defense just wasn't there last year. And anybody that watch NFL can tell you that, if they're not biased, that is. So I believe that the Eagles can make it back to the Super Bowl with this team that they have. But there are also teams that's on the rise as well. Dallas got a little bit better, adding George Pickens. That's another receiver for Dak to throw to. Last year, it was just everybody was on CD Lamb, so it's hard to win games like that if you only got one receiver. Now you got somebody open it up for both of them. You can't double both. If you do, somebody else gonna be open. So I can see the Cowboys and Washington getting better. They added Debo Samuels to the team they already had. Coming off an impressive year, the Washington did lose to the Eagles in the playoffs, but you think about what the pieces they added and coming out there this year, it's a possibility they can take that division as well. So as far as the division go, it's really a toss up. But right now, the favorite should be the defending champs. But I'm just saying, Washington and Dallas are they right there to take over that division for a couple years. So that's as far as the Eagles go. So can they make it back to the Super Bowl? Yes, I believe they can. But we have to see how they play against the tougher schedule and see if Jalen Hurts can be relied on to take this team to the next level. The Kansas City Chiefs, a bummer last year because even though they made it to the Super Bowl, they didn't have Rasheed Rice. Um, Pacheco was okay, but he just came back off an injury. He didn't look too well. Those two pieces right there, and then you can't forget about Travis Kelsey just looking horrible for majority of the year. So that whole offense it just wasn't clicking. But somehow, like I said, they made it to thanks to the ref. I'll say that thanks to the refs, the Kansas City Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl. As far as their defense, I'm pretty sure they got a couple pieces for that. But as far as the offense, I believe that with Pacheco being healthy this year and Rice being back, being healthy, I can't. They got another receiver, a rookie receiver they drafted, either maybe second or third round. That he just is more speed out there to put with Worthy and Hollywood Brown. So a full season with all that speed, and maybe if Travis Kelsey is even half the person he once was, the Chiefs could be back in there. But the two that's knocking on their door right now, Baltimore and Buffalo. Those two teams got better in the offseason as well. And I could see either one of those teams knocking Kansas City off right now as well. So that's all I got for the teams that represented the Super Bowl. As far as my Tennessee Titans, man, like I said, I'm gonna always be real about it. I'm not a fanatic. I'm a fan. I'm a diehard fan. This has been my team for years, and I'm never gonna switch up. But I have to be realistic when it comes to this team. Yes, we went out and got a quarterback finally. I believe that Cam Ward will show that he is a franchise quarterback and he could lead his team to victory. Last year, just off topic, we went 3-14. We lost 5 games by less than 7. If you put a quarterback back there that don't do dumbass plays and try to throw the ball away and still throw an interception like Will Levis did last year, those 5 games could have possibly been different and we could have been 8-9. Still not over 500, but we could have won more games. I truly believe all 5 of those games were very winnable, and we should have won those games. That's not just being a fan; it's just from what I saw in those games. Um, Will we be better this year? I believe we will. I'm not saying we're going to make it to the playoffs, but I can see this team making it. I can see us winning at least 9 to 10 games. That would get us into the playoffs, possibly. That 7 seed, but it's a lot of teams getting better overall. We got a young team. We pretty much just rebuilding. We're about to be rebuilding around Cam Ward. As far as the receivers go, it's kind of sketchy there because we got Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett. Those are two vet receivers, but then we got a whole bunch of rookie receivers that we're going to have to develop. Um, Xavier, I can't think of his last name, but he played with Cam Ward over in Miami. He came over, so hopefully he can help out as a slot receiver. But as far as our defense was top, well, the number one defense for I want to say about 4 or 5 weeks, and then we just started getting all the injuries to Snead. McCrary went down. A couple of defenders on the line went down, and once we start losing all those people, the defense just looked terrible. But overall, I believe that we can win at least 9, 10 games this year. My goal for the year, just being honest, is for us to finish over 500. If we could finish 9-8 or 10-7, I'm cool with that. If we make it to the playoffs, that's just a bonus from flipping this whole team around. So either way, I'm rocking with my team, and I'm just hoping that we do way better than 3 wins this year, man. I don't want us to be back in the top 5 for another draft pick, and I don't want us to build like that. I just want us to get it right this time, and hopefully the defense shows up and we get some of these young receivers out there take advantage of these older CBs out there. But as of now, that's just an early prediction. I believe we can win 9 to 10 games, possibly as a Tennessee Titan. I want to get into the last portion of this segment for the NFL sleeper teams for this year. One for the AFC is the Denver Broncos. That's the team we play week 1. It's going to be a tough game. I'm not sure who's going to win yet. I'll do my research on that as the season starts next month. But I can see Denver being one of those teams that make it to the playoffs. They went out and got a running back, a couple of running backs that should help move the ball outside of Bo Nix have to throw the ball. Their defense got better. I know they got some big guys on the defensive end. They got one of the best cornerbacks out there in Patrick Surtain. And Bo Nix leading the way, man. He looked like a vet as soon as he came through the door last year as a rookie. So I'm going to say Denver Broncos, and my team on the NFC to be a shocker next year is the Carolina Panthers. Now, I know it sounds crazy. I'm not saying they're going to make it to the playoffs. I just believe this team can win at least maybe 7 or 8 games, which would be big for them because they've been playing horrible and looking horrible ever since Cam Newton and C-Mac McCaffrey left the team. Once they start trading everybody off, the team pretty much went to shit. But those are my 2 sleepers for the AFC and the NFC: the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. So that's all I got for the NFL, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Mechee from the Midwest podcast. Make sure y'all check in to the NFL first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and the Lions tonight, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel for your latest